Hey there, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. So one of the videos that I have known that I wanted to create for a while is really what's the evolution look like for a buy and hold investor? I do create a lot of content for the new investor, somebody trying to get from 0 to 1 or maybe 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. It is frankly where I see a lot of people get stuck. Uh, I create this content based on meetups and comments on this and the like. I do get some content out there about what it's like to, go to the next level. So I thought I would try to encapsulate the 3 stages that I see buy and hold investors go through. More importantly, share with you my 3 stages, how they kind of broke down, right? A 15-year journey from a single rental home to a decent portfolio. There's lots of twists and turns, and I thought I would break them down, and really this was a pretty common request. So I of course, when in doubt, create a PowerPoint, and why don't we share that? Okay, 1 second. Let me make it so it's big. Okay, so here are the 3 steps of the evolution of a buy and hold investor. Again, this is a quote I have. You've probably seen it a few times if you are on this channel, but this is really what I'm trying to do. Appreciate that financial freedom is hard. It's a sexy story. It is hard. It's a long road, all of that stuff. But again, the second half of this sentence is most urgent, practical, important, whatever you want to call that, that a better financial future is easy. It is absolutely 100% in your control. And this is what the channel is dedicated to, is helping you see that, really grasp it, and move forward. So let's get to the topic at hand, the 3 phases. So this is phase 1, as you would think. If you've watched my channel at all, if you've read my book, you've evaluated my course, I believe it all starts with doing your homework, learning your market. You need to understand what an average deal is in your market. And then once average, you can then go ahead and look for what is good or great. It really doesn't matter. Real estate agents can send you listings. They could make claims here and there. But until you do the homework, frankly, you shouldn't trust anyone. This is your decisions. You're going to make 2, 3, 4 decisions on this, 2, 3, 4-year journey. So do the work, please. Don't walk up to the craps table with money burning a hole in your pocket and bet on 17. Let's not do that. You've got to save for the down payment. I know there's lots of talk out there about side hustles and wholesaling and flipping contracts and garage sales. I don't care how you do it, but if you're going to get in this business, you're going to follow me. You're going to be putting down payments. You're going to save. Maybe you'll borrow from your 401k. Maybe you'll put a loan on a car. All things I did in the beginning. Hello. But again, it was important for me to move forward. So we did save for a down payment on our first 3 properties. It was a whopping $40,000. That's it. That's all we had, right? That's all we had for phase 1. And yes, I understand that's more than some of you, but is a lot less than lots of you. So don't think that we were given money, or we had some, Silicon Valley wealth. We didn't. We were working 40 hours, busting our tail, saving as much as we could. And after a decade, we had a measly 40 grand. That's all we had. You got to be able to make offers. And generally my offers are not at list price. Now, I know that's hard. I know the last 5 years have been a seller's market. I know there's been bidding wars. I know. But again, if you go back to step 1, and you learn your market and you learn how to compare deals, many offers that you're going to make are not at list price. That's just the reality. And you're in some markets, you make 100 offers to get 2 counters. In some markets, you make 20 offers to get 2 counters. Don't get fixated on the list price. Make the offer that makes sense for you. You've got to get used to the ups and downs of being a landlord. If you don't know what I mean, please read this book, One Rental at a Time. It's on Amazon. I document in painful detail our first landlording experience. The short story, it was horrible. It cost us all in about 20 grand in lost rent and repairs. How do you like that for a first experience? It was terrible. But read the book. You'll see how the story ends, and obviously it has a happy ending. But man, that first one, whew, not good. Your first phase is likely a pretty long phase. I don't want you to think, even if you have all the money in the world, it's going to take a while. It's going to take 5 to 8 years. It took us 7.5, maybe 8 years. You know, we were in it for a long time. We were just building a strong foundation. One house, one rental at a time, one rental at a time, right? We got to a point where we owned 8 properties. So roughly one a year. And, you know, that was our phase one. It doesn't feel like much is happening. I wish I could tell you at the end of phase one, you felt something. It's hard for me to go back and look at it now, but I would be shocked if my real net cash flow was more than $1,000 or $1,200 a month. Yes, my spreadsheets always said it was like 22 or 2,600, but spreadsheets lie. Spreadsheets are not the real world. And frankly, this is something that I think is going to bite a lot of people that are overpaying for multifamily today. It looks great on paper, but boy, reality doesn't live up to paper. So be careful, be conservative. It's why I preach it so often and so frequently. And again, in phase one, I really believe if you can get to 4 rentals with conservative financing and hold for the long term, 15, 20, 30 years, you have already accomplished a better financial future. If you remember the quote we started this with, a better financial future is easy. You don't have to go for financial freedom. It's hard. It takes time and sacrifice, and it's just miserable sometimes. But a better financial future is in your grasp. Go for it. The problem is most of you don't start. You don't have the confidence. You're distracted by shiny objects. I try every day to tell you the key is building confidence in yourself. I have a course that is well documented now. I have a private Facebook group where I interact with you, and it's working. But most of you aren't starting. You're just surfing around, looking for the free stuff and hoping it's okay. I've made the course ridiculously cheap at $199. I give you a coupon code called BOOK20 where you get a free autographed book. I think I have 5 or 6 left, right? These 5 or 6 books were from the first print run that I signed and autographed. So I give those away. So it's only $179. Frankly, less than the cash flow from 1 month if you get a deal. But most of you don't start. Most of you get the excitement, you poke around. However, if you're ready and you're willing to do the work, because I tell you what to do, to learn your market, do some of you think it's monotonous, but as you'll see in the private Facebook group, which you are free to join once you get the course, you will be able to understand your market, make offers, compare deals. It's pretty cool to watch. All right. So that's phase one. And again, if you get in phase one, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 rentals and stop, I want to shake your hand. You have already got a better financial future, assuming you've conservatively financed them and you can hold for the long term. Somebody else buying your assets is awesome, I have to tell you. So congratulations. You don't have to go to phase 2. Phase 1 is good enough for lots of you. So phase 2, after those 5 to 8 years go by, right? So I don't spell well. So that's clearly the wrong spelling of buy. So you can make fun of me if you want, but sorry, but it's true. I don't spell well. You can now look for ways to reuse old capital. So remember when I told you we only had $40,000 to play with in the first phase? We bought 3 houses with it. Roughly $20,000, $10,000, $10,000 was our down payments. We bought properties 4 through 8, no new capital. We did all cash out refinances. Right? That's how we grew phase 1, was we did cash out refis. The good news is now you have a bigger foundation and you have more options in phase 2. You could again take properties in our case, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And based on the timing, maybe do a cash out refi on one of those. Absolutely possible. The key is you're reusing old capital to get a new asset. It's spectacular. But please read this book. I tell you about a huge mistake I made with my first cash out refi. I created an alligator and now have an icon that I publish all the time called No Alligators. It basically means negative cash flow. Just because a bank will give you all the money in the world doesn't mean you should take it. So be careful. The other thing you can do, and this is what we leveraged in phase 2, we did a cash out refi on our first 3, but really what exploded our growth is we started doing 1031 exchanges. We took all the equity out of our houses, which had had mortgage pay down, which had had value creation, which had had appreciation, and we did 1031 exchanges. We simply took the equity and we moved it into bigger assets. We exchanged a house for 5 units, a house for 10, 2 houses for 18. This isn't a video about the 1031 exchange, except to say it is awesome. It is a way you can avoid taxes with like-kind exchanges. It is very, very date intensive. Don't do it alone. You need experts around you. But again, we had them, we found them, and we used them. We went from 8 units to 80 in about a year and a half, all because of the 1031 exchange. And our cash flow finally exploded into something interesting. So realize that that is there. The other thing in phase 2, I have seen this derail people. This happened a lot in 06 to 08, is people started getting cocky. They started feeling like they couldn't miss, and they bought toys and they bought silly things and they went bankrupt. I believe with all my heart that it is happening today. There have been people that have been wildly successful the last 5 years, some of them on TV, and they're going out and dropping crazy money on things, and they are about to go broke. There's one HGTV couple that's now divorced. I keep seeing them drive up in Ferraris and Land Rovers and all these things. Man, this market turn's going to eat their lunch. So be careful. Don't buy toys. This is where big growth happens in phase 2, if you choose to do it. You're going to, you do cash out refis and do them well and you buy more, or you can exchange. And again, what's not really said here is it takes time. That's why building the foundation is phase 1. You need time to go by so you can have mortgage pay down, you can have appreciation, you can have value creation. That's where the 1031 exchange becomes so powerful, and you can really up-level your units. You can be in phase 2 for a long time, right? We started phase 2 with the 1031 exchanges. Then we got lucky and the market turned and we bought stuff in a real estate depression, but it was all about recycling capital. In phase 2, after the 1031 exchanges, again, we did not have a lot of money. I think we had about 40 or 50 grand. And this is, now I'm almost 40. So income went up some, savings went up because we started to sacrifice and live below our means. And again, I mean, really live below our means, right? We were spending 100% of our income when we were 30. We were spending 50% of our income by the time we were 40. And our income did not go up by that much. So we were sacrificing. And that allowed us to get a little bit of a nest egg and keep recycling that capital in phase 2 during the crash. I think this is where you really 10x Grant Cardone. Give him credit for that term. I don't know what else to put there, but give him credit. This is where you can really 10x all your efforts from phase 1. We went from 8 to 80. It's a coincidence that that's 10x, but that's what we did. And this is where it finally starts to feel like you're making a dent. You're starting to see thousands of dollars roll in, and you really can start making interesting decisions. There's no shortcuts to get here. You cannot jump to phase 2, in my opinion. You need experience. You need to learn the market. You need to get the ups and downs of being a landlord. I don't even care if your first purchase is a 100-unit apartment building. Until you learn about being a landlord and have turnover and weather issues and things breaking, you're in phase 1. Phase 1's not a unit count problem. It's an experience, and it's a you thing. You go out and be Grant Cardone and buy an 100-unit apartment building as your first investment. Congrats, you're in phase 1. 5, 6, 7 years from now, assuming you can hold it for the long term, you can do a 1031 exchange from 100 to 1,000, whatever. Phase 1 is not a money thing. It's an experience thing. And phase 2 is a time thing. Don't think money solves this. Time is the factor that makes this work. So phase 3, this is the time where money or cash flow is interesting. You can review your portfolio. You can trim debt. You can recycle debt. You can move debt from here to there. You can reposition equity. Maybe there's some dogs that you want to sell and you want to pay off others. You can be very, 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 very selective, which we are today. We are still growing. We added 18 units this year, but we're being very, very, very selective. And we have the cash to buy more stuff if things go on sale, like I expect. This is really where you give back. You're in the business now, potentially 20 years, 15, 20 years. Give back, help people, help that next group. That's clearly what we're trying to do. Celebrate a little. I don't mean go blow money, but recognize what you've done. You have sacrificed for 20 years. You have rode the wave. You've rode 2 real estate cycles probably. Congratulations. You made it. Most people don't. Most people don't. You don't have to get to phase 3 to be a success. I told you earlier, if you get to phase 1 and you stop at 4 units, I consider you a success and I want to shake your hand. Let me know. Send me an email. Buy my book. Take a selfie and tell me how many units you have. I'd love to hear from you. Be happy. Be happy. That is something that I have struggled with a lot. I was a very stressed out salesperson, always grinding, pushing, running. Not that I wasn't happy. It's just that I didn't know. I was leaning forward and I had to keep moving my legs or I'd fall down. I want to be happy. That's the big thing for the next 20 years, is being happy. So in the end, if you've watched this through, let me know what you think. Is this helpful, interesting, what I miss? If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, come on, hit that subscribe button. Let me know I'm doing good work. And let me know what you think. Where are you in the phases? Are you in phase 1? How many units do you have? Comment below. You made it to phase 2? Congratulations. What you doing? And if you're watching this and you're in your phase 3, congratulations, you made it. It takes time, right? It takes time. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.